Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Spencer.
And I'm Mike.
And this is a Board Game Rundown, and today we're going to do a preview for Trash Dash. This game, we are trying to be the fastest critter in the city, and to do that, we're going to have a little race. This is designed by Parker Simpson. He also did the illustrations, which is worth noting, because I like the art on this.
Great art.
It says 2 to 6 players, 30 to 45 minutes. If you're playing like the one race, you can do like a tournament style where you run 3 races. So you get points depending on where you finish for like each race. You total them all up. We played 2 games of this with Teach in under an hour.
Yep.
Like the Dash, it's fast.
It is fast.
And this game is not trash.
No.
So what's going to happen is you're going to have a hand of 5 cards to start off with, and you're going to have, thanks Mike, asymmetric player powers depending on which critter you decide to be. And it's very straightforward. You can choose one of 3 actions. You can rest, which you wouldn't do to start, but if you rested, you would move 1 space, unless you have an ability that lets you do otherwise. You would rest, you would move 1 space, and you would draw up to 5 action cards. You can move, which would be you'd play one of your action cards from your hand, and you do it. Now, some of these action cards, and there are 3 different types. There's regular, just straightforward move, and those go up to 5. I think 1 to 5,
Yes.
but they go up to 5. They're pretty great. But there's also these attack cards here, and they've got 2 values. So it has a move value and an attack value. So if you attack somebody, and you can attack anyone on the board, you're going to move them back 1 space. And then you will do your move. The order is important. You cannot get moved past the lap line here.
You can't de-lap.
Right, right. But otherwise, everybody's fair game. I mean, you can still attack them. It just doesn't do anything. Then the other one is there's a scare. And so scare, whatever the scare value is, you're going to choose any player. Again, doesn't matter, anywhere on the board. And they are going to randomly discard that many cards, depending on the scare value. And then you will do your move. So you're going to make somebody do whatever they're going to do. You're going to move. And then depending on where you land, there's a couple of different spaces. On this track specifically, I'll just cover the ones that are right here. There's a trash can. If you land on the trash can space, and you don't already have a trash card, you can draw a trash card and basically add it to your hand. You can only ever have 1 trash card unless something tells you otherwise. And this is important because the other thing you can do while moving is if you have a trash card and you want to play it, you play it first, resolve it, and then you can play your move card. And then that's pretty much how that works, right? That's your action. The other action you can do is dash. So if you have 2 cards with the same move value, you can discard them, play them in front of you, and then you get to roll that die, and it goes between 1 and 4, and you add that die to the move value that you discarded. So not the total, but like, so if I discarded 2 2s, I'm at a move of 2 plus whatever I roll on that die. If I do not like the die roll, I can keep discarding cards, and they can be of any value. They don't have to match, to keep rolling that die until I get a number I like, or I run out of cards. Yeah. Then at the end, you will resolve any other space effects. So like recycle a bin, you get to draw 2 action cards, keep 1, discard the other. There is an oil spill, or like a little spill spot. If you land on a spill, you move 1 more space in the direction you were already traveling. So if you were moving forward, you're going to move forward 1 space. If you got attacked and you're moving backwards, you're going to go back an extra space. There's also the big old box. And in the big old box, you are not affected by attacks or scares because you're able to hide in that space. And then that's all of them, right?
Trash cans didn't go over.
The trash can. Well, I thought I did. That's when you draw trash.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So
there's that. I was doing a different ability. That's why I didn't recognize what you said.
Yeah. And then at the end of the turn, you're going to draw a card unless you rested. And that is all of your actions, like basically what you do. You can do a predetermined track, or you can make up your own. They give you different options from 1 to 4 laps. So you can make the race as long or as short as you want. And again, there's tons of different tiles here you can use. You can really do what you want.
Double-sided.
And they're double-sided. They got all kinds of cool, fun things on there. So lots of options, lots of replayability, right? As you can change up not only if you're playing tournament, you can change up your tracks, all kinds of stuff. Now, if you are playing a tournament, you need to keep the same character. Going through. But other than that,
you've got 6 characters with variable player powers, and those are double-sided too.
Yeah, so there's lots of variety in this game. So, boys, Trash Dash, Bobby, what do you think?
That was a lot of fun. I enjoy racing games. I love the little animal meeples.
Yeah,
I think they're
little,
fantastic. They have little pins, so if you do see them out at conventions, sometimes they got these pins available. I don't know if on the Kickstarter if they'll have these pins available, but they are fantastic. I love them. They're super adorable. Yeah, Spencer's wearing his. They got one named Winston, and we all know I love a Winston.
That's true.
But no, it's a good time. Just the building up your hand, talking trash, like, oh, why are you attacking me? I'm so innocent. Playing my cards out.
That's Bob's usual strategy.
But no, it was a good time. So I really enjoyed this one. And the player aids are nice. It's always nice to have good player aids.
Oh my gosh, they're
nice,
great.
Nice breakdown of what the symbols mean and what you can do on your turn. So that's always helpful. And the variety between asymmetrical player powers. We love asymmetrical player powers. My biggest beef would be the wooden die. I'm just not a fan of wooden die, but at least it's big and chunky, so that helps.
Yeah, you do discriminate against that wooden die.
I do.
Spencer.
Well, I really enjoyed the game. It says it's 8 and up, and this I would definitely play with my kids. I could probably get this to hit the table quite often with my kids. You mentioned it has Winston. Well, it has a Calico, and my kitty was a Calico, so that's a bonus. I also enjoy when someone gets really far ahead, and then everyone goes after them. This line prevents them from just being completely destroyed. It kind of it mitigates the
pile on the leader.
Yeah, the pile on the leader, which is nice. And like every time we played, it was fairly close.
Oh my gosh, it was so close.
Well, Spencer had us lapped for a while, and then we managed to hold him back enough that we could catch up.
I do feel like in both games, everybody, if they had had one more turn, could have won the game.
Definitely.
Yep.
I could have won the game on the last turn if I had only rolled a 4, but out of this die, there's only 1 4, and I didn't want to take the risk. And I should have. I also really like the asymmetric powers. One of the things that it says, like Chloe here on the backside, her power is when you land on an occupied space, you attack all the opponents for 1. But that doesn't necessarily mean when you land on their space because you moved there. If someone else moved you back,
you can still
they
attack.
go back. And here's where that order comes into play. If you attacked me and I go back on your space, I'm attacking you back, and then you would move. So yeah, it's lots of little combos. Like we had the one where energy drink, she could attack everyone she passes, and then she would also pull them back twice.
Do an extra attack, because of her scrappy ability.
Yep. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Mr. Mike.
There's a lot that I like about this game. So first of all, the designer also did the art. The art is adorable. I love these screen printed meeples here. These are just really, really cute. And all of the variable player powers feel very different. They give you a very different strategy every time you play one. So, of course, when we played the second time, everybody but Bob, because he's lame, picked a different player power to use.
No, I flipped it. I did.
He flipped the player power.
He flipped it over. That's
I'm
right. He had to stay Winston. That's right.
I stayed with the same power.
Spencer's lame.
Even the A and B side, even the A and B side are different versions of like the same ability. Like Penelope, just as an example, when you scare an opponent, you may add one of the action cards that was discarded to your hand. So I kept trying to intentionally scare people to get those extra cards. Or when you scare an opponent, you may scare another opponent for the same amount. So you're doubling how strong that ability is. So these felt very, very different, even the opposite sides. But there's tons of take that here. There's constant player interaction, which I think is great. And the fact that this supports 6 players, I always look for 6-player games because there's not a lot of strategic. There's plenty of party games, deduction games, word games that support 6. There's not a lot of strategic 6-player games. So that's a count I'm always looking for. And this works really, really well. I really had a blast with it. I think this is a lot of fun. I could see playing this a lot.
Yeah, so I would describe this game as rowdy. I like these kind of games a lot. I like playing them with my friends who can who are thick-skinned enough to deal with the take that, so we can all kind of talk trash, yell at each other, cuss at each other, and just have a great time. And there was so many times that we were so loud playing this game. And this is a very straightforward game. It's not overly complicated. You do need to make sure there's a little bit of upkeep to do basically at the end of each round, or each of your turns. Just make sure you're drawing your card, right? And if there's anything else that you need to do, like move up on your lap, track, anything like that, just pay attention. So while rowdy, and it is very easy to try to play this game very quickly, take a beat just to make sure,
right?
Because you don't want to cheat yourself. If you don't get to use one of these actions, you're kind of cheating yourself because they're super important. That's not a knock on the game. That's just more like advice.
Right. Like we talked about it while we were playing. It's like, I wouldn't go so far as to call it fiddly, but it's like the stage below that where you have things to do. It's not just play a card, move, play a card, move. You want to play a card, do the ability of the thing, do the ability on your card. Like, you want to make sure you're doing all the stuff like in order and getting all the effects that you're entitled to.
But it does it in a way that it's never
It's
like
not overbearing or too much.
It never feels cumbersome. It's just like, okay, hey, did you do that? Did you draw your card? That's it.
Yep.
That's it. And then the different abilities, right? Keep track of your own abilities. Pay attention to what you're doing. Because like Mike said, they're all different. They're all unique. And you really want to lean into them because that's going to help you win the game. Absolutely lean into your abilities, whatever they are. I was set up for like a great turn. The second game I played as Flip the Pigeon. And basically, I just, if I was below 3 cards, I could draw a card at the beginning of my action phase, which is really handy. Because it gives me more options, right? And then if I was going to be able to dash, it gives me more cards I can discard for rerolls if I needed to. So there's just little things like that. You kind of lean into those strategies, but the art is amazing. I love it. For what this game is, the art is so cutesy. It gives you a great vibe. And the vibe of the art and the gameplay style, like, all just come together really well. This game did not overstay its welcome. Like I said, we played twice in an hour.
Yep.
And we could have played another round, like easily. Everybody was having a good time. We're all yelling. And the races were really close. They were really close. And that's what I also really liked. There was on this 4-lap race, there was a good long time of that game. I say a long time, it took 30 minutes. But a lot of that game, Spencer had lapped everybody.
Yeah, almost twice.
Way ahead.
Almost twice. And it took us unifying
everyone to stop me.
To pull him back.
Yeah.
Only
back
to
enough
let
to catch up.
Only to let
I
Bob
was
win.
still one turn away from winning.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's super fun. So I really enjoyed this. This was really good.
Also, these trash
I was
cards
gonna
are
say.
very
So
useful.
powerful.
Yeah,
and it's
they
not
do a
always
lot.
just playing the highest card to move the most. The trash cards are so useful that sometimes you're playing lower cards to
Just to
make
get
sure
the
you can
trash.
land on trash and use
those
those cards
cards.
later because of how strong they
They
are.
are
So
very strong.
I like being incentivized to not always play my highest card. I think that's really smart.
Yeah, and also, right, the dashing ability, sometimes you might use a couple of 2s, and maybe you're only going to move 3, but you could move 6, right? If you roll that 4, but you're foregoing that secondary action to do it.
dash,
So sometimes I'm not dashing because it's like, well, I really need to make Spencer
Move back 3 spaces.
move back 3 spaces, or maybe I need to make Bob discard a card because I'm worried, like
That's
he's
so
getting
cool.
close, so lots of really interesting choices every round. I just was really impressed with this, really impressed.
And even that first race, I used Jet, which allowed me to re-roll the die once
I
for
hated
free.
you every time
so
I
was
watched
trying
you
to
do that.
dash as frequently as possible.
Again, lean into those abilities, right?
Yeah, the thing I like about Dash, if I have 2 4s, I could save those and do 8. It'll take me 2 turns. So the question is, do I want to get that boost right now? Do
Right.
I really need it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
The other thing is not trying to get too far ahead because then you're a target.
Hey.
So sometimes, even though
almost worked.
on that last race, I'm sitting there with a 5, but that's going to put me 1 spot before the end of the finish
you don't
line.
go there,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm not trying to get everybody to attack me. So I think I
Yeah.
dashed with a couple 2s. I'm like, all right, holding on to my 5. This
Yeah.
is the winning card. And then somebody beat me like the turn before. So
Somebody.
good.
Can't remember who.
Let's check those BG stats, shall
No,
Wait, hold
sorry, internet's down. There's
Wow,
a big
what's that?
cyber attack.
What's that asterisk next to Bob's name?
But yeah, guys. Anyways, in conclusion, Bob, would you recommend Trash Dash? What do you
Yeah,
think?
if you like racing games, if you like cutesy art, you like a little bit of Take That, you'll enjoy this game.
Spencer.
I highly recommend this game. I kind of want to buy a copy.
Yeah, Mr. Mike.
Back this game.
Back it. Yeah, man, this is one that's got to be in my collection. This game's so much fun. Again, you can get it played with anybody. The rules overhead is very low. It's very straightforward. This will be played at family events. Honestly, I could see us just running. Like, I'd love to run a tournament just for braggers' rights.
Ooh, let's
you know what I
make
mean?
one where it's every single tile.
Let's say, let's do one lap,
One
put all
lap
the
with
tiles
all the
in, and
tiles.
just see how that shakes out. That'd be
Oh,
fun.
man.
The marathon race.
That would be crazy, but I'm down for it.
Right.
That's how fun this game was, though, right? And that's the thing you could do with this game. Just another wonderful thing you could do with this game is just like try crazy combinations and do wild stuff. With it.
One long lap would mean that you could attack almost infinitely. Like,
Yeah.
there would be no saving.
Yeah.
you.
No safeguards in place.
Yeah, unless we all just agreed as a joke to like keep Bob at the first space. So like not even to try to win the game, but just
That's a
to
great
keep-
idea. Let's go ahead and set that up.
We'll film it for you.
Yeah.
Watch Bob make this face. The whole game.
This game is amazing.
But anyways, yes, Trash Dash is awesome. I hope you guys are able to give it a shot. I would really, really strongly consider looking at this if any of that sounded fun. All right, well, for the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
Winston.
Spencer.
I was Penelope.
Oh boy, thanks for watching.
Slide through the spill.
Salute.
Crisscross. Everybody eat some trash.
And you can say the title's only 3 words.